Well, I finished sanding out both the sunroof and the spoiler, and I had no trouble at all with the high build sanding with the flux agent in it. In fact, it's just, the surfaces are just perfect. It went on smoothly, as I said, and it sanded out perfectly. So there's no complaints. And the only thing with the sunroof is that there's a fairly thin sheet, and then there's a heavier gauge frame in behind, and but the sheet on top is actually suspended. It's not entirely fixed at the back, so if you push too much, it's a little wobbly. But I had to do two different sets of coats of the high build on that to get it dialed and get it absolutely flat. I think well worth doing, but I was surprised that it required a little bit of surface putty filling, and it's a total of 6 or 7 passes of the high build primer on it, and then blocking it out. So it's now good. Both of these things are ready, so I'll wrap them in plastic until I'm ready to do final paint on them. Well, I'm about to commit a horrible crime. I'm going to start block sanding this. It's I don't know, it's a carbon fiber hood, it's gorgeous, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave some of the carbon fiber exposed on the underside. Not all of it, but some of it, so when you flip up the hood you can see that it's made out of carbon fiber. But I'm going to start to block sand this lightly, and then get it to a point where I can get the high build on it and smooth it out, because it definitely has a bit of a, well, the surface is pretty good, but there's a bit of a pattern on the surface that cuts through the clear. So anyway, I'll get this ready for painting. Horrible sin that it is to paint it, but that's what I want. Well, it's too late now. I'm blocking it. But it's smooth, so I'm lucky. There's no waviness to it. It's blocking out just perfectly. So LWS Design in the UK, they built a quality part here, so it's going to save me a bunch of effort filling it and sanding it. I mean, I'll still high build it, but I'll reduce it a little bit, and won't have to put too much on. So this will go really quick, which is awesome. Well, the whole hood on this side is great. This is all clean. Center section's all good. There's a low spot here. It might fill with the high build. There's a little area here that will not fill with the high build. At least I don't think it will. So after I epoxy it, I can fill that. And then there's another little low spot here. So anyway, it's a minor issues. I expected it to be much worse than that, so I'm happy. So what I've got here, I've been fitting up the fenders and getting everything aligned so that the grill is correct here. The fender here is correct. So all this stuff on this side, I don't have the doors mounted, but that's a huge pain. So, but this stuff is the way it was previously, gap wise, and then I'm looking at this new carbon hood, or bonnet if you're British, and well, it the gaps aren't great, so I'm gonna actually modify it. So you see, I've got everything. I got some temporary fasteners put in. I've got everything adjusted the way it should. And by the way, the rain tray here at the end, it actually hits the edge of the molding at the back, so I'm gonna have to modify that because it sits high at the back here. It's a bit high because it's hitting, and that's because the rain tray is probably a little different than in the US than maybe the Euro cars, and this is probably, well, it is a European hood. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend, because I've got these fenders where I want them, and the grill and everything is perfect here, and the hood, which is actually the same width as my other hood, but I'm going to actually narrow the gaps. So I'm going to build the, I'm going to use some fiberglass, and I'm going to extend this and get the gaps a little bit closer to the way I want them. And I don't want them to be ridiculously tight, but I do want them to be the same as all the other gaps in the car. So that is going to require some recalibration, and I'm going to have to become a fiberglass guy too. So